All right, here we go. This is a V-shaped graph. Actually, before we even do this, thank you, but I want you to stop and listen. So stop writing and listen. You will have a minor grade check, like it'll kind of be like a quiz, but you can do it at home. It'll be due on Sunday night at 11:59. If I post it today, you can't do it today because you haven't learned topics 1 and topic 2. Those are the only 2 things, okay? So you cannot do it until at least tomorrow after school. So don't log in and do it today. It'll waste your attempt. So on either Thursday or Friday would be my suggestions. Then you may do what is your homework check, your quiz check, your minor grade, whatever you want to call it, but it's due Sunday night at 11:59. Everybody hear me say that, okay? Okay, your unit test is Monday in class. So your unit test is Monday in class. So you need to make sure that you are here this week because it's going to go by very fast. And then Monday we are taking our test. There's only 2 things on your test, 2 topics, that's it, okay? Because the end of the 9 weeks is next week. So make sure you are here from now until the end of next week, because if you miss something, you get an incomplete, which makes you ineligible if you are involved in anything, okay? So make sure you are here. Please make sure you're coming to tutorials if you need them. So now, let's look at this. This is topic 1. Make sure my pen's working. This is topic 1, which is attributes. And like I told you on unit 1, you're going to have this for all those graphs that are in the back of my room. The first topic is always going to be looking at a graph and telling me what you can find from it. So this is a V-shaped graph. What's the name of a V-shaped graph? Absolute value, not V-shaped, as some of you wrote on your test. Absolute value graph, okay? An x-intercept, where do I find my x-intercepts? On the x-axis. How many does this one have? There are 2. What is this x-intercept? -1, 0, written as a point on a graph. I hope you're all listening. Written as a point on a graph. What is my second x-intercept? 3, 0. Not just 3, 3, 0, a point on a graph, okay? My y-intercept is found on my y-axis. So here's where my V crosses the y-axis. How do I write that point? 0, -2. Very good. Who remembers what a solution is? It's just what my x values are. So x equals, what's my first solution? -1, and x equals, do I ever put my y's on there? No. Never. It's just my x's, okay? A vertex, how do I find my vertex? It's the point where my lines meet, where there's a sharp turn. So here's my vertex. Way down here is my vertex. How do I write that point? 1, -4. My axis of symmetry. What does an axis of symmetry have to go through? Through the vertex. And you better be paying attention. You have to write it a specific way. So if I draw my line through my vertex, what axis did I cut in half?
1.
Axis.
Oh.
The x-axis.
Okay.
So I cut my axis of symmetry on the x-axis. At what number?
1.
If all you wrote was 1, you're wrong. It has to say x equals 1. It cuts the x-axis at the number 1. Has to. Does this graph have an asymptote?
No.
How do you know? It's not a curvy L-shaped graph, so none or no. Very good. Domain, which way does domain go?
From right.
Left to right. So if I come from the far left, I get to this right here. But what does that do? What's it look like it's doing? It's still going. So it's an arrow. Very good. What does an arrow tell me? Infinity. And if I'm coming from the left side, what kind of infinity is that?
Negative.
Negative infinity. What does negative infinity get? A parentheses. Very good. Now, if I come from the right side, what am I going to reach first? This dot right here, which is at what number? Positive 4. Does it get a bracket or a parenthesis? Why? It's a closed circle touching the line. It's included, all of those reasons. Very good. Where does range start?
Bottom.
The bottom of my graph. Where's the very bottom of my graph? Right here. I can draw a line and nothing should be below it. So -4 with a bracket. Very good. Where's the very top of my graph?
Infinity.
Positive or negative?
Positive.
Why is it positive?
It's going up in the y.
Because it's pointing up. That's all I care about for range. It's pointing up. Okay. Questions about domain and range? You've got to know left to right, bottom to top. All right, let's do the last one. Let me try to erase what's on my graph so we can have a clear graph to write on. What does maximum mean? The highest point. What does minimum mean? Am I looking at my entire graph? No. What am I looking at?
What's between those points?
What's between these points? Remember, these are my walls. So I have to make a wall at -5. And I have to make a wall at +3. Do I care about what's in between or outside? In between. So all of this other stuff no longer exists. So in between those walls, what's the maximum? What's the highest I can get at my graph?
9. Is that 9? I can't see.
8, right here. 8, that's the max. That's the highest my graph can go. So the highest my graph can go is 8 between those two walls. What's the lowest my graph goes between those two walls? What I heard? -4. Way down here is the lowest. And what is that at? A -4. Can you write them as a point? Yes. But if you get the X value wrong, like let's just pretend really quick that for the maximum you wrote -4, 8. Is that correct? So now you've missed the whole thing because you wrote the wrong point. So if I were you, I would just give me the Y value. How high and how low did my graph go? Be on the same page. Okay. Okay. Your only assignment today, and there is 0 reason why this is not finished. You have 8 graphs. They are all absolute value graphs. Y'all, this right here is topic 1. You either pass with a 100 or pass or make a good grade on this, or you fail this. But this page is basically your first major grade on Monday. Is there any reason anybody should fail this page?
No.
No. So work by yourself, work with a partner, check your answers, and make sure you're getting it completed, please.